So what if I wash my hair and you do a tutorial?
On how to do it on somebody else?
Yeah.
Not. Cristela.
So, my mom wants
No.
wants her hair
I asked
styled now. And her bangs don't look like mine. So I'm going to give you a quick preview of how my bangs are cut. I'm going to do it on her, and then I'm going to teach you guys how to do a blowout on her, which is very similar to my previous blowout of how to do a blowout on yourself, but now I'm going to do one on her. So, keep on watching. So one thing that's super important, and I feel like everybody kind of forgets this part, is according to how you want to style your hair is how you want to have your hair cut. So if you want to have a face frame and you want your bang to lay a certain way, or you want a lot of volume, you're going to want shorter layers. If you don't want a lot of volume, you're going to want long layers. And if you don't want nothing at all, you're just going to want it to be completely blunt, which means everything is one length. So this right here is because my mom wanted it to look exactly like my hair, but she didn't have the shorter bangs. So I can give her something that's similar, but it wasn't going to come out exactly the way mine looked if we kept her bangs long. So now it's time to get into the actual blowout, and I always divide the front two sections of the hair right at the back of the ear. If it's still going to get in your way, you can clip it up more perfectly, but since I'm so used to doing it, I just twist it out of the way and it's fine. So I didn't messy dry her hair as I did in my previous video of how to blow out your own hair, because her hair was kind of already dry. So the only time I do that is if the hair is soaking wet. So you want to make sure that you grab a section of hair that's perfect for the brush. And then I always like to go under and just do one overpath to make sure that there's no tangles and it's nice and smooth. And then I like to create that tension by turning the hair over the brush, and I go roots, mid shaft, and then the ends. Now, the thicker the hair is and the curlier or frizzier it is, the slower you want to go on the sections. Another thing that's very important is if the person has very curly, frizzy, natural spiral curls, you don't want to messy dry the hair too much because it's naturally going to start to become very curly and very frizzy. So it'll be more work for you to go in and smooth it out once curly hair starts to dry versus straight wavy hair, and it's going to be less work when you go in and do the technique with the brush. So here I'm actually doing a pin curl, and the reason I'm doing this is because I really want to lock in that curl that I created with the brush. So for her particularly, I want all of the bottom sections of her hair to go flipped up. So I flip the hair up around my two middle fingers, and then I just take the ends and I tuck in the ends and follow the curl. However you want the hair to set and cool is how you want to pin it. So if it's pinned up very messy and very bumpy, however it's pinned up is how it's going to cool, and then you're going to get rivets and dents, lines of demarcation from the clip, things like that. So it needs to be very seamless for you to pin it that way, because that's exactly how the hair is going to cool, and that's how it's going to look once you pull it down. Now would be a good time to pause this video, hit the thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, subscribe. So of course I was the one who cut her hair, and this haircut particularly is a long layered haircut with a shorter face frame, just in case you were wondering. So this is just my preference, and I don't like to leave the bottom section to be very thin. I like it to be together with a bigger section of hair, so the very bottom one isn't so tight and so curly. Hey, did you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe yet? I'm watching you. I'm just saying. So now that we're at the top section of the back, here you're going to notice that I don't flip the hair up anymore. So I have three big sections, and all three of them I flip them up. Now on this top section, I'm actually going to flip it down. So you can see at the root, I'm still lifting it up for the volume, but I'm actually turning the ends down instead of up. Reason being is I don't want it to be so flippy. I want it to look very modern, very chic, but I don't want the ends to be so flippy like she's going to be flying away or something. Just saying. There'll be a lot of people out here in these streets looking like that, but that's not what I'm here to show you. So, on the bottom section of the front, which you could see, I curled it up. For this one right here, which is at the temples, I'm curling it down. So the same as the top section in the back, but I'm starting at the temples. So you're going to curl it down, and it's a little bit harder to go down, but you're going to make sure that you tuck it in very smoothly and pin it. Now you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. The very first section is going to be flipped up, and then the section of the temples is going to be flipped down. Now we're at the top section, and the top section is usually a little bit smaller than how wide the brush is. And then I'm taking the pieces forward because I really want that volume. I want that bounce, that volume, that curl at the top. So instead of me pulling the client's head backwards, I'm actually in front of them and I'm pulling them a little bit forward so I can get that tension and lift up at the root for the volume that I'm looking for. Now, since she has a shorter bang, I have to actually start the curl to pin it closer to her scalp so I can get those pieces in. You can see some of those pieces are sticking out from her bangs, but you just got to keep putting all the hair through and tucking in all the hair until it's perfectly in. Now that was the last pin, so now I'm going to go to the back while the top is cooling, and I'm going to remove the ones in the back. Now the top section, I always like to go over it a little bit because I don't like to see any lines of demarcation or anything from the pin, so I just like to make sure. That's why I did that top section really quick again. But this is how it looks, and this is how you get that bombshell, volumey, bouncy, curled blowout without using any curling irons or any extra tools besides your blow dryer, your brush, and some pins. So since her hair is very wavy and usually more at the hairline, I'm going to go in and I'm touching up with a little bit of tension the hairline so it's nice and smooth. So here you can see I put the brush in front of the section, turn it for the tension, and then I put the blow dryer real quick. So you can't leave it there too long because you end up burning the person. You got to do it real quick. I'm going to tell her to turn and she's going to bang her leg in 3, 2, 1. I just had to keep that clip in there. One of the main things about stylists styling someone's hair is that last final touch of putting it in place. So you can curl someone's hair so fabulous, or you can blow someone's hair out so amazing. But if you don't know how to position the hair and put it in place, it's not going to do you justice. Since I had just cut her bangs, I needed to tweak them and play around with them a little bit and get them adjusted to where I want them to go. So this is why I'm going back into her bangs and I'm touching them up because they were freshly cut. So I always finish off with a gloss, and here I use the Paul Mitchell Silky Serum. This is one of my favorites, and I just applied it to all of her ends. Always to the ends, mid-shaft and ends. I never really do it to the root because I don't want the hair to get greasy. Now that is the final look. This is how the Bombshell Blowout looks at the end. Bomb.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.